Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Sunday, December 18th, 2016 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is, it is my responsibility to consciously alchemize my fire. And we have some shift preparing to come online. We actually are in the last day of Mercury direct shadow before we go into retrograde, and we're also in the last day of Mars in Aquarius. So you may, and the moon is also shifting today as well. So you may be feeling these shifty energies, which is interesting because we're also building to solstice. So shifting the seasonal energies as well. So you may be feeling kind of this shift energy. And although we begin with the sun and the moon, both in fire signs, sun in Sagittarius, moon in Leo, and those two signs connecting, and also the moon connecting with Mars this morning, which could bring, possible action, fire energy. You also kind of may feel, I get kind of sleepy when shift happens as my body adjusts to the new vibrations. So, you may feel this fire, but this fire may be one of warming you internally, warming and inspiring you internally, rather than necessarily making you desire to take the action outside of yourself. That being said, moon shifting into Virgo kind of puts us into, I have these things to get done, I have my list, I'm going to get this all done, so you may shift into that energy. So we have that going on. I do want to mention that Moon-Mars connection, it's happening at 29 degrees. That master level degree, mastering the Mars and Aquarius energy of holding the vision, carrying the vibration of the vision, of where you want the world to go, how you want the world to evolve, and then how you can stoke your inner fire to get there. That's that energy. In that opposition, we have this Leo energy. And so the Leo moon energy, that could be at 29 degrees, you could really be in that open-hearted energy, feeding that open-hearted energy into this vision, or you can always fall into the energy of that tug of war where you're like, well, how is this serving me? And the ego energy may come up. And so if you can hold that vibration, the highest good for all involved, and hold that as you vibrate this vision, then you're going to be really strong in that energy. However, that's going to pass, and the moon's shifting into Virgo relatively early in the morning, depending on if you're a morning person or not. It's shifting at 9:52 a.m. Pacific time. So moon in Virgo, we're then ready to take the action. I encourage you with the moon in Virgo to not get so caught up in the to-dos and the list of everything you want to get done in this, holiday week, filled with holidays this week as we, move into this solstice time. But rather really make sure that you're also taking action, pay attention to what your body needs so that you don't end up, sick because you haven't given yourself the adequate rest. Now, I really want to talk about the Mercury retrograde energy because this is what I'm really feeling coming on. What's interesting is that Mercury is at 15 degrees. It's going retrograde at 15 degrees, but we have Pluto right here at 16 degrees. So it's basically going retrograde right at this Pluto energy, Pluto in Capricorn, shifting the structure of things. So Mercury almost reaching this point, to me, really says that a big part of this Mercury retrograde, as we turn within, outside things may go a little crazy, but it's always pointing at us to turn within, do this work within, is going to be about shifting our mind around control, shifting our mind around the shoulds and what society should be and what we've been told we should be, and shifting that into that higher vision, because Mercury is going to retrograde all the way back into Sagittarius. So we talked about that when Mercury went into its shadow point, how it's coming back to Sagittarius, which is asking us to hold that flaming arrow vision of where do you want the world to go. And that feeds very much into Mars preparing to shift from Aquarius into Pisces, holding that vision, vibrating that vision. Your part in this is really going to be one of transmutation and releasing the energy of control. Old paradigm Capricorn or lower vibration Capricorn can be about this control. I know best, this is how it should be. With the moon in Virgo, we really may feel that control energy coming up. But this is our opportunity to let go of that old paradigm by working within ourselves through this retrograde to shift this idea of control from trying to control these things outside of outside of us into instead coming within. It's not like that you necessarily control yourself, but get conscious about this alchemy, this process going on within you. And right now, as there's so much fire, and we're finishing up Sagittarius with this inner fire, that inner creativity that's working in and through you. So I'll talk more about Mars shifting into Pisces tomorrow, but as Mars finishes up in Aquarius, it is important to hold that vibration of what you'd like to see, and hold that vibration for the highest good of all. And, lead with your heart. Lead with that open heart, not lead with the fear of like, well, where does this leave me in this? But lead with that heartfelt energy. And I've got some great cards going along with this. I have the playfulness card, a little more Sagittarius, Leo. We're finishing up Sagittarius. So it's really, have fun. Put on your to-do list, or make it a to-allow list, fun. It's important. Keep the joy up as we head into, at least in the northern hemisphere, the darkest period of the year. I also have the inner voice and the harmony cards. Look at these cards. What if this became your new vision for putting into the world? And then what if this became your work through this Mercury retrograde to shift out of this rigid control energy and instead into this? You have this option. And from the Sacred Symbols card, I pulled Transmute. And I think this is what we're going to be doing. There is that reptilian part of us, and there is this Kundalini energy that's working through us. We are very incorporated with the snake energy, and it says snake is a powerful symbol of transmutation. Accept its gifts of shedding the old ways and the ability to make magic by transmuting its energy into something new. Meditate on the symbol when you need some assistance in changing the energy of your life. Not to be taken lightly, as this is heavy magic. So we have this opportunity through this retrograde beginning tomorrow, working with this Pluto energy of shifting and transforming everything. And I really love this card. I felt called to pull from the archetype cards, and I pulled Rebel. And it is the light attribute challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that no longer serve inner needs. The shadow attributes rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. So we're being called to step into the light version of the rebel energy. And I think what we're rebelling against are those voices within that are keeping us confined to this box. And instead, Mercury's going to have fun with my words this month. Instead, expanding this energy within ourselves to step up into our light, into our conscious use of our fiery energy. So that's it for today. I have reading sales going on. If you'd like to work with me for 2017, that is at GaiaBlooming.com. You can always email me for details. And I have holiday sales too if you'd like to give people a taste of astrology, a taste of understanding that on a conscious level for the holiday season. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.